You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find.
I think there's definitely this stigma that a black woman is especially supposed to be very outspoken and loud, and when they're especially in like movies and stuff, they're like the black sassy best friend, and they usually have like no arc or anything like that, and I think that's definitely a very negative connotation, but especially like prominent black female actors, but especially like now there aren't, it's gotten way better, I'll say that, like going from the mammy figure to being like one of the most sexiest people alive on People Magazine. I guess that's a good step forward, but many steps to go.
When people see a black performer come on stage, they automatically expect that person to be able to A, belt their face off, B, be able to like have some kind of soulful something going on, or like C, just be like in command, like a very demanding stage presence. I feel like that's expected from black performers. That isn't exactly expected from like white performers.
They expect you to have like a sassy side or a strong, also a different type of voice. My voice type is not at all like what Jennifer Hudson sounds like or anything. It's very different and not what you'd expect from an African American person. Written for black women. There are many that I love, like Beneatha in A Raisin in the Sun. She's a very empowered black woman. There's nothing stereotypical about her. She's just her and herself. And there's others that of course are comedian because they're the big black woman that is crazy and has a lot of things to say, and you know. But then there's also things like when I was auditioning for Hairspray, there was Penny and Lil Inez, and for some reason I wanted to be Penny. And I thought that I could audition for Penny, not looking at my skin and thinking, oh girl, you're also black. And they were like, no, you should really audition for Lil Inez. You're more of Lil Inez type. And I was like, oh, but I can't sing like her. I can't hit those notes like her. I want to be Penny. And that didn't register to me that I could only be one thing.
The way I feel about it is the writer a POC individual? Because a lot of times people will go into it with preconceived notions about black people and about stereotypes and try and write that in as like a comedic thing instead of as a human thing. And I feel like a lot of times when there is like a POC writer, like even on television, like if you watch Scandal, Chandra Rhyme, which is a black woman, wrote that show, and the lead character, Kerry Washington, is like a relatable person.
Being in one box, like even like the revival of The Color Purple, that was awesome, amazing, everyone loves it, but it's not now. There's no like modern day character for a woman of color, or especially for a black woman of color that isn't some subcategory of some beautiful Anglo-Saxon person, you know. And you know, it's even Hamilton, which is like all POCs, you know, it's not now.
She just wants to be.
Definitely in high school when there are a lot more people that are white than people that look like me, and you don't exactly look like a family, it kind of costs you a lot of roles because they wanted it to look like a family, they wanted it to look like people that were related, so I kind of lost out on a couple opportunities because of that.
In a show once where it had to do with segregation, a director had asked all the African Americans in the show, what's a time you've ever been discriminated against? And we were like, do we have to have a time? Was that happened to us? Why would you assume that, you know?
The hardest thing I've faced was, I feel like if I'm in a performance with another black person, or more specifically a black female, it's always going to be such a stiff competition of like who's more soulful or who's more like builtier. I feel like that's always, like this summer I was in this Rock of Ages, and I was playing alongside another black woman performer, which hasn't happened in years because at my university
basically there is no other black performer, so I'm kind of the crumb de la crumb.
I am proud to be a black female performer because, of course, we all know the history. Women, African American women, we weren't involved in theater, and when we were, there were very specific roles. They were either very small roles or they were roles about, oh, I'm being oppressed and I'm in the ghetto, or my family is struggling, and racism. But now there are roles that aren't that at all. Now we have so many opportunities on Broadway. We've had a black Cinderella, we've had a black Velma Kelly, and things are just like looking up very much for a black woman in entertainment, and I can just make lots of other little black girls happy someday. Of course, there are obstacles, but there's always something. If you are talented and you're a performer and you are dedicated, this is your #1 passion, this is going to happen for you, whether it takes 10 years, whether it takes 2 years, it's going to happen if you never, ever stop.